Today I want to show you how to use Investing Pro to invest properly, as well as the options it offers that you can take advantage of. Because a lot of people have been influenced even by my videos, since there are some videos where I mention this ProPicks AI tool, which basically consists of portfolios where you invest in an almost automated way. You just pick the stocks each strategy suggests, invest in them through your preferred broker, and that's it. That's one of the strategies you can use each month, but I won't show you more, because Investing Pro isn't just useful for that. It can help you with a lot of other things too. So I'm going to start here and show you how I would use this tool properly. The first thing is the watch list. This is simply to always keep track of which stocks I want to monitor, which stocks I want to keep an eye on, and which companies I want to know how they're doing. So here, what you can do is either search for your watch list or simply create a new one. You can create a new one that comes with predefined ideas or even ProPicks strategies, or you can just start one from scratch. You can say, this is my default watch list. So I just type it in like this, just like this, my watch. And here you search for the specific stocks you want to show up here. So for example, I can search for, let's look for Tesla in this case, and let's find a company here. So Tesla shows up here, I select it, and that's it. It'll show up here, and since I already have too many on the list, this helps me find Tesla. If I want to add another one, I just search for another one here, exactly. Now I search for Apple and add it here. For example, this one, I click Save Changes, and now it will show up here. And here I have all these options to see the current price, what the target price is, for example, the price I wanted to reach. So for instance, if I say I want the target price for this stock to be 280, then here it tells me directly how much I expect it to go up, 8.81. It tells me right away the data it has about this stock, and I click Save, and here I'll be able to track it again as the price goes up or down, as well as the fair value according to, in this case, Investing Pro. So all of this shows up, which is really important for me to stay super alert. And once you have everything set up, you can use this to export it to Google Sheets or Excel, and even use it with another tool called Warren, which is this one over here. Once you have all the data, everything you want to know, everything set up, you can come here, and what you're going to do is write something like, hey, I have this list of stocks. What do you think? What's the forecast for the future? When are their earnings? And so on. So let's say this is a tool that honestly is also kind of like, think of it as ChatGPT, but for investments, packed with a ton of data specifically tailored for investing. Next is the ideas section, which honestly many people don't really take full advantage of. We have a lot of different filters based on categories that also come pre-built. Investing Pro comes from Investing.com, a platform that's been providing financial information for a long time. They have extensive experience and a ton of information, which is the most important thing these days. They have a huge amount of historical data from many years back that we can use. Depending on certain traits, you can set stock returns for a specific time frame, like the last month. Here we can filter for only positive returns, and it loads that for me. Then for the last 3 months and the last year, also positive, with at least a 2% return. And as you can see, it finishes loading and gives me certain portfolios that I can check out and see that these are from fund managers that are either very well known or very profitable. And you can also categorize this depending on, specifically, if you want these to be funds or simply independent people who manage their own portfolios, or banks. And basically, for those you don't know, when you're investing like this, the market always moves in the direction that all the big investors go. But not big in the sense that they know how to invest, but big in the sense that they know what's going to happen, things that maybe an individual investor doesn't know will happen. So here, we can track them, and each one has their own strategy. So let's imagine I like this one here from Aburo Capital. I just click on it, and here it's going to show me the entire portfolio they currently have and what percentage each holding represents in the portfolio. This helps me get investment ideas too, and for example, I can open this first one and add it to my watch list as well so I can track it. It's also useful for finding investment opportunities. For example, according to the Investing Pro models, let's say this one isn't at fair value, so we can look for other alternatives. Let's check this one over here. Now, this one isn't either. So basically, we keep filtering like that if that's the indicator we're using in this case. For example, look, this is the one that's gone up the most, UTHR, out of the whole portfolio here. But, well, from what I just saw, this is very focused on pharmaceuticals. If that's something you're interested in, then obviously this strategy will work for you and make sense. If not, then clearly it won't. But we can look for others on this same website and see if it's worth using different ones. Then, of course, there's ProPicks. ProPicks, which is what we've tested the most on my channel and what we've already been trying out, especially the Tech Titans one. Basically, when you come here, you choose the United States, and you'll see different strategies appear. In this case, like I said, we're using the one up here, the Tech Titans one. Once you're here, the portfolio will simply have Mesa Mesh tell you, add this one, add this one, add this one, and remove this one, remove this one. We've explained this many times already. Really, this is one of the ways to use the ProPicks AI tool. Take the portfolio that has all this track record, all this backtesting, and replicate it exactly as it comes with the same amount of money. So if there are 15 stocks shown here, I divide $5,000 by 15. Whenever it says to add a stock, I add it for that amount, and if it says to remove one, I remove it for that amount. But another thing that a lot of people do is basically come back here and look at the different types of strategies. For example, if you like Buffett, you want to follow what Buffett actually does. So what do? You come here, click, and check out the strategies. In this case, the downside is that this one isn't monthly, it's quarterly, and it shows which stocks they invested in at the time. But since this comes with a delay, by the time we go to invest, it's no longer an opportunity. Personally, that's how I see it, and I'm not a fan. But if we go to another one, like this one about best value stocks, then maybe this could work. It already brings you the opportunities for the month. So instead of copying or coming here to my watch list or ideas, here it already tells me the investment idea. It says, look, this specific stock for this month, we believe it's going to go up. What do? It has this Pro Research feature. Click it to open a detailed report on the specific company with all its data. Based on that and the summary here, you can decide if you want to invest. So these are already investment opportunities presented there, processed in your system. You can even build systems with AI, which is what I do, so I don't have to be searching or have the AI search, which sometimes hallucinates. I don't mean the Guara AI part, but AIs like ChatGPT or Claude. Gemini and all those, well, since this data is real and already based on our own strategies, we can say, look, do you think that based on my strategy, it's worth investing in this stock right now? If it tells you yes, then you know you should invest. If you analyze it yourself and say yes, then you invest too. If you say no, then you just skip it. But the important thing here is that based on this premise shown here in the title and based on the strategy this portfolio uses, what you can do is decide whether or not to invest in all these stocks instead of just relying on buying and selling comparisons. So these are opportunities that come up that otherwise we wouldn't have, or that to find them we'd have to do a lot of research, we'd have to do a lot of things just to even get to the point of knowing or considering that this could be a good stock to invest in. Whereas here, everything is already completely filtered, and it's just up to us to choose whether or not to invest in that specific stock. Then there's the screener. I really like this one too because it has, let's say, preset conditions, and again, this is always based on user customization. So like I mentioned before, based on your strategy, you pick something from ProPicks AI and you say, I like this one because it matches my investor profile. The same thing happens here. Let's imagine you want to invest in any of these things. It's simply based on mathematical formulas, algorithmic formulas, data formulas, earnings reports, dividends, and several other factors. And based on that, you can choose this segment to filter stocks that meet the criteria you set and still include more investment opportunities. So we have the ideas, we have ProPicks AI, and we also have the screener. So let's say I want, for example, this cash is king, like companies that have a lot of cash, and with a pretty strong cash flow. So once you select this, it automatically loads and shows me which stocks are available right now. In this case, it's set to the United States, but if you, for example, invest in another market, like the UK, Ireland, or Latin America, then you just click on it and it'll load stocks from that market that meet those conditions. So it's not just this one, but all the strategies that show up here. Or you could even create your own. You can just type in any text here and hit create. And here you add the filters. So you choose the metrics, like the dividend has grown by at least 10% in the last 20 years or something like that. You can keep choosing, and based on that, stocks will show up according to the filters you select. And once you have the stocks that show up, if you want to go into more detail, you go to the next option, which is Data Explorer, and here you search for the stock. Let's say the stock you found is this one, iron. This has been discussed a lot lately because of all the AI stuff. And here, selecting it shows which metric you want to look at. So here you can specifically select, for example, revenue. Then you go in, and here you'll see how revenue, for example, has grown over the past few years. In the case of this company, for other companies, the chart might look different, obviously. And here you keep checking and seeing if this fits with your investment strategy again. Because remember, this isn't magic. It's not like you just come in and it tells you the information you'll invest in forever, just like that. Unless you try ProPicks and it works out for you, which is what I'm personally doing. But this is based on your strategy as an investor. If you like to invest, for example, only in financial companies, then you go to the screener and set up filters that only show financial stocks from around the world with certain metrics. But if you only like pharmaceutical companies, you do exactly the same thing, but with that type of stock. And that's how you get the most out of this Investing Pro tool, not just with PropX AI. That said, I'll see you next time. If you made it to this point in the video, leave a little turtle emoji in the comments section. See ya. Bye.